Yo guys, welcome to Slip the Jab Boxing. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Let's get into it. Right, so WBC World Heavyweight Champion Tyson Fury taking on former UFC Heavyweight Champion Francis Ngannou. I watched the press conference. There wasn't really much to say about that, really. Tyson Fury was Tyson Fury. Had a lot of energy and just made some weird jokes here and there, but it's Tyson Fury. Francis Ngannou, didn't really see much from him. Didn't really seem like he was nervous in any way. Seemed kind of relaxed, happy to be there. Just kind of ready to get on with the event, really. How do I look at this? I mean, it's a boxing match because it's within boxing rules, but does it count towards anything within boxing? I don't really think so. I mean, we've got the WBC heavyweight champion and the belt's not on the line. I mean, what does that really mean? For the grand scheme of things within boxing, it can't be good if we've got a champion that isn't fighting his contenders or trying to unify. I mean, the only contender he ever really seems to be interested in fighting that's somewhat current is Anthony Joshua, but Anthony Joshua isn't exactly in the best place right now to be fighting at the best of his ability. So what does that even more say about Tyson Fury? Is he good for boxing if this is how he's going to carry on? I think that's a subject for another video, but yeah, I think that's something to really think about if you're a Tyson Fury fan. So the WBC Riyadh belt is on the line. What does that mean? I'm not really sure. I believe Frank Warren made some sort of comment about hopefully it will be on the line every year. Okay, will that always be a fight which contains the heavyweight champion of the world? I mean, I hope not. I prefer to see YouTubers or something like that fight for a Riyadh belt. I mean, what does it really mean? BoxRec don't count this fight. You can see on Tyson Fury's BoxRec that this fight is not there. You can also see that Francis Ngannou literally doesn't have an account or a profile. So you can see that for whatever that means as to whether this is a real fight or not. Ngannou, does he have any chance in this fight? I mean, he's got a puncher's chance. He's meant to be a really, really hard hitter. I haven't really watched too much of him in UFC. I'm not really a UFC fan. I'm not against it, just don't really follow. But he's meant to be a really big puncher. I mean, there's a video that's showing him against a punching machine. It measures his power. And I believe they say something like him punching like a small family car.
Another component of this tool is the ability to measure speed power. That's related to hand speed and the speed of impact. Higher speeds generate higher forces, and Francis has demonstrated some huge numbers today. The crazy thing is, when you look at these numbers and compare them to horsepower, that 51,064 foot-pounds per second is equivalent to just under 93 horsepower, which is the same as a small family car.
So if your punch is being compared to a vehicle, obviously you've got some pap right there. But there's issues within this that I think people aren't really thinking about. Obviously, he's been training the majority of his fighting career as a mixed martial artist. So within that, if he's constantly been training for MMA, there's going to be certain behaviors that are kind of drilled into him that have become second nature. And within a boxing match, you don't really want to be fighting against your instincts. If your instincts are that of an MMA fighter, then it might be hard for you to move naturally within the ring, within a boxing ring anyway, because you're going to be constantly fighting yourself to revert back to type. Your brain is going to be that of an MMA fighter, not of a boxer. You're not going to be able to just change that overnight when you've been doing MMA for years. I believe his fighting style is a striker. He's orthodox as well, so that works in his favor. But obviously, he still is able to kick. He's able to take people down to the ground. There's a lot more wrestling involved. I mean, there's clinching involved in boxing, but even then, it's not exactly the same. You can't do the same sort of thing. So within that, he's going to have to fight against his fighting instincts. And against someone like Tyson Fury, who's got brilliant fighting instincts and brilliant ring awareness and I mean, he's a brilliant fighter, so that's not the best position to be in. I mean, a lot of people look at this as just a power game, especially just within the heavyweights, but you have to be able to land that. You have to be able to land it clean, and sometimes, if necessary, you might have to land it more than once. As well as that, Tyson Fury, we've seen him get knocked down by some hard hitters, Klitschko, Wilder, and he gets back up. He gets back up. I've seen Tyson Fury go down, and I thought, that's it, fight done, I'm ready to turn off the TV, and he's up. So you can never really count out Tyson Fury like that. Something that may work against or for Francis Ngannou is the fact that within the UFC, there's actually a weight limit. So within the heavyweights, they can't just be as heavy as they want to be like within boxing. I believe the weight limit for heavyweight within UFC is 260 pounds. And Francis Ngannou actually needs to lose weight to meet that limit. So within boxing, as he's not going to actually need to make weight, will he find a new optimum weight? Or will he think, size equals power and just come in as heavy as he wants to? This is the thing. I mean, if he hasn't boxed before, he's not really going to know what his optimum weight is. He might just assume it's his UFC fighting weight, and it literally might not be, because boxing and UFC, they require different types of cardio. I believe in UFC, is it 3 5-minute rounds or 5 5-minute rounds? And obviously within boxing, you've got 12 3-minute rounds. So it doesn't exactly work the same. You're required to throw punches a lot more within a boxing match as averse to a MMA match. So the weight is also something that is, I guess, unpredictable for this. We don't really know what effect that's going to have. Tyson Fury, he's looking a little bit big, but he tends to look a bit big between fights. He's always been like that. He's never been and never going to be a body beautiful person, but as he even says, this is boxing, not bodybuilding. So the issue is with him is this fight for him, or his training camp rather, going to be a weight loss camp where he's just losing weight, getting down to size, and then he'll trust his already brilliant boxing skills to deal with Francis Ngannou. He obviously has the boxing knowledge, the in-ring know-how, how to deal with someone that's never had a boxing match before. I mean, he's not a WBC heavyweight champion for no reason at the end of the day. The skills are there. So that's really undeniable. I believe he should be able to do what's necessary to deal with Francis Ngannou. However, the up and down in weight, the not taking care of his body, who knows? Could this be the fight where that finally starts to show properly? Who knows? But somehow I'm not really sure. I don't think so. What's more interesting with Fury is what he's been saying around this fight regarding Alexander Usyk, who really he should be fighting now. We should all be looking towards a undisputed fight, which obviously I assume everybody knows why isn't happening, because Tyson Fury seems to want to move the goalposts left, right, and center. I personally believe that he is afraid to lose. Not afraid as in I'm afraid to take a punch. He's been in there with Deontay Wilder. Just afraid of the consequences of losing rather than afraid of being in there in a fight with Usyk. He hasn't kept it a secret at all in interviews that he has no intention of fighting Usyk. This is really, really disheartening. As a boxing fan, it's absolutely disheartening, because it's just like, why are you in the sport? Why are you holding on to a belt and trying to proclaim that you are the best? And sometimes he even says the best ever. May I include Muhammad Ali? Come on, what are you talking about? But he calls himself the best, but he doesn't want to fight the best. He wants to fight Anthony Joshua when he's low, and then a bunch of nobodies. Or someone like Derek Chisora, who's had, 12, 13 losses. It's just a bit ridiculous. So if he were to win, where would he go after this fight? If you don't intend to fight Usyk, and clearly you don't really intend to fight any contenders, especially if money's your motivation, you're not really going to get a lot of money for fighting an Ajit Kabayel, and that's the kind of caliber that Tyson Fury is going to want to fight. So is he going to move like his brother and move into the the more celebrity style boxing. I don't really see what other choice he has, but he cannot still hold on to that WBC belt. I guess in an ideal world, just for the controversy, it would be great if Ngannou wins, but obviously the WBC belt isn't on the line. But as I said already, I believe that Tyson Fury should get this in the bag. And then I guess we'll look forward to what happens next. Let me know what you guys think. Is this fight bad for boxing? Is Ngannou's weight going to make much of a difference? Will he come in heavy? Is Fury's weight going to be a big difference? Is the fact that he keeps on yo-yoing, is that going to be a big deal or not? Will you guys be watching? Who do you want to see win? Let me know in the comments. Right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. Hope you all get some good fortune today. Take it easy.